Welcome to another lesson of the Web Design Bootcamp. And in today's lesson, we are going to learn about what we are going to use in this bootcamp to build the various websites. Okay, so basically in the previous lesson, if you are yet to watch it, do well to watch the previous lesson. We explained website design 101. We explained basic things about website. What's a website, what's a domain name, what's hosting, what's the server. All those things were taught in the first lesson. So if you are yet to watch the first lesson, do watch it before you continue with this lesson. But in this lesson, I'm going to introduce you to the platform that we are going to use to build our website, and also what exactly we will need to be able to build the website. So just to cut to the chase, the platform that we are going to use to build our website is called WordPress. So when in a previous lesson, when I talked about the various ways in which a website can be built, I mentioned that you can use code as programming, you can use the low-code platforms, and you can use the no-code platform. So website is basically, it finds itself both in the low-code and no-code. But if you know code, you can use coding to improve the functionality of your website as and when you want. But if you don't know code, it still doesn't stop you. You can build good websites without any knowledge of coding using WordPress. So in this course, we are going to use WordPress to build our site. Let me be quick to add that there are two types of WordPress. And if you are not aware, you may be thinking about one over the other. So there is what we call WordPress.org and there is WordPress.com. I forgot to mention this in the previous lesson. That's something we call domain extension. So now you know what a domain name is. But the domain extension, basically .org, .com. So anything .something, that extension that is added to the name that you choose. So we mentioned iCreate.com or WordPress.com. Let's use that one. WordPress. WordPress is the domain name. But whatever comes after it, that's the .com or .org, is the domain extension. Okay, so WordPress has two different sites with two different extensions. The .com is a very simplified one, and for that, let's leave that one to those who are not looking forward to building. When I say building, something that you can own, that yes, I do it and I can do it for anybody. It's a business that I'm getting into, or it's a skill that I've gotten. Okay, so let's leave the .com to them. We are going to be dealing with WordPress.org. That is where a lot of functionalities are. So over here, we have the ability to make a lot of changes, create things from scratch. Unlike WordPress.com, where we are going to be playing with things that has been already created for us. Okay, so that is a basic difference between the two. Hence, in our case, we are going to use WordPress.org. Pay attention to that, WordPress.org. So how or what do we need to be able to build websites with WordPress.org? I mentioned earlier that you would need to have your website or web pages or files hosted on a computer called a server somewhere. Okay, and these ones usually cost money. But to begin with, we are going to do it such that you don't have to pay any money upfront. That means that we are going to do it, you are going to host it on your own computer. The only caveat here is that if you create a website that is hosted on your computer, I can have access to it. It is only you who have your computer who can have access to it because it is sitting locally on your computer. For that matter, you are going to hear a lot about localhost. So I said hosting is you keeping your files, your website files on a particular computer somewhere, a server. But this time around, you are hosting it on your own computer locally. So the term that we use for that is localhost. Okay, you are going to use a localhost, and for that matter, you are also not going to purchase a domain name for now. Subsequent lessons, we will learn how to do all those ones, but I don't want the lack of money or whatsoever to be an impediment to you learning web designing. I started learning web design even when I didn't have access to a computer. So it is not you having money to purchase a hosting or domain. It is not that is not the prerequisite to learning how to build websites. You can learn how to build websites. Then when you get your first design contract, then you get enough money to purchase a hosting or domain as and when you want. Okay, so now let's just focus on how we are going to build this locally. So to be able to build this locally, it means that we have to be able to turn our own computer into a server. And there is a software that we need. That software is what is going to help us turn our computer into a server. For those of you who are participating as part of the bootcamp participants, you would have the links to all these resources in the curriculum that you were provided. But if you are watching this on YouTube, then check the video description for the... If you are watching it on YouTube or any other platform, check the description for links to the various resources. So the first one that I'm going to make mention of is called XAMPP. XAMPP is basically spelled as XAMPP. Okay, so XAMPP. When you search for XAMPP, the one by ApacheFriends.org, that is where we are going to download it. And basically what XAMPP does is it helps us turn our computer into a server so that we will be able to run our website directly on our computer. The reason why you need this XAMPP, two things when you are using WordPress. Let me explain. It's going to be a bit techy, so if you don't understand, don't worry yourself. But the underlying understanding that I need you to get is that there is a language that was used to build WordPress. You understand that I said to build website, you need to code. But for WordPress, some people have done the coding for us so that we can just move things around and let's build our own website. So the code behind the website that we're going to build is called PHP. So for PHP to run, you need something we call Apache. Okay, so that is what is going to turn your computer into a server. Therefore, when we install XAMPP and we turn on Apache, it's like we are saying that, okay, now our computer should be able to interpret any PHP code that comes. So the website, instead of seeing it just as a file, the Apache is able to render these files so that at the end of the day, we get the outcome that we are looking for. Any computer that does not have this Apache installed on it cannot run the website that we have. So for all the servers that you are going to purchase online when you choose to, they all have this Apache installed on these servers so that they can render or interpret the PHP code that comes. Another important thing is that these platforms have databases connected to them. So the WordPress site that you are going to build has a database that will be storing the name of your website, the information you put there, maybe the About Us page, all the information. This is our team, the pictures, the images, the audio, videos, anything that you're uploading is going to be kept in a database. And if you have any knowledge at all about database, you know that there is a language that we use to communicate with the database. In this case, we are using what is called MySQL or MySQL. So when we download XAMPP, which is going to serve as our server or help us turn our computer into a server, we are going to turn on two major things. That is Apache and MySQL. I'll illustrate all of these, but I want you to get the basic understanding before we continue. So you need Apache and MySQL turned on for you to be able to run or create a website on your computer, locally, I mean. And XAMPP is not the only software. There are a number of them. We have WAMP, where the X is turned to W. We have MAMP and many others, okay? But I have used XAMPP since I started, ever since I started. So I have a preference for it, and therefore that is what I recommend for you. Whichever device that you are using, if it is Windows, you can download XAMPP for Windows. If it is Linux, you can download it for Linux, for OS X as well. Okay, so wherever you find yourself, whichever environment, computer environment you find yourself on, you can download the appropriate XAMPP version for it. The next thing that we will need to do is to download WordPress itself. So now you can go ahead and download XAMPP. Download XAMPP and install it. Just click on any of these things and download. I already have XAMPP installed, so let me set it for you to see that I have it installed here. So as you can see, this is XAMPP control panel. It's installed on my computer. And just as I explained to you, we have Apache and MySQL. So anytime I'm about to open any website that I've created locally, I have to make sure that the Apache is turned on and the MySQL too is turned on. When they are turned on, you see the color changes, and this, instead of start, becomes stop. So basically, the first thing you are going to do now, download XAMPP, then install it. After installing XAMPP, try starting Apache and MySQL and see if you don't have any issues. If you do and you have any issues, you can reach out to me. If you are part of the bootcamp, just in our Telegram group, you can reach out. If you are not part of the bootcamp, you can comment it on YouTube. But if you want a fast response, then you would have to join the Telegram channel. Make sure you test it. I know the reason why I'm emphasizing on it. So test it and make sure it is working. When you click on start and start for the Apache and MySQL, the ports are here and everything is working fine. Once everything is working fine, we are good to move on to the next step. The next step is for us to get WordPress. So I will keep reminding you, those of you who have signed up for the bootcamp, you have links to these resources in the curriculum. So you can just check your curriculum and click on the links in there. If you're watching on any other platform, check the description of the video for links to this curriculum. Otherwise, you just go to Google and search for it. So WordPress or WordPress download. Okay, so let me show you which one it is. Alright, download WordPress.org. Don't forget that I said we are using WordPress.org. So when you come here, you are going to download any of them. The current version, priceless and also free. So download WordPress and use it on your site. You go ahead and download it. I have downloaded it, but I need you. Okay, let me just go ahead and download it. It doesn't spoil anything. So this is me downloading WordPress, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what you are going to do with it. So in this particular lesson, we've learned that to build a website locally on our computer, we need a software that will turn our computer into a server, and the software we are using is called XAMPP. Then after using XAMPP, after installing XAMPP, we now need WordPress itself. So WordPress is a folder that we need, but we are downloading it now and it's zipped. So when we are done, we are going to unzip it and use it further. So basically, that's what I want you to appreciate for this particular lesson. How you downloaded XAMPP and how you downloaded WordPress and testing that your XAMPP is working. In subsequent lessons, we are going to learn how to install the WordPress. So installation of the WordPress itself is not straightforward like XAMPP. So that's why I didn't bother myself teaching you how to install the XAMPP. Because XAMPP, as you download it, is a .exe file. Therefore, you double click on it and you install it. The only caveat when it comes to installing XAMPP may be the file, the directory in which you install it. So it is recommended. Let me show you something. It is recommended to install XAMPP on your C drive. It will make things easy for you. So just follow and make sure it is installed on your C drive. So as you can see, when I come to this PC, that's a C drive. Then I have XAMPP installed here. Once you install it, you should be able to find it right there. Then in the next lesson, we are going to learn how to install WordPress itself. Thank you, and I hope you've learned something new in this video. If you have any questions, if you are part of the Telegram channel, just ask your questions in the Telegram channel, or Telegram group, or ask your questions in the comment section of any platform where you are watching this video for. And I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.